Oh, there he is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, what's going on? That's really cool. Sweet.
Oh, there he
Okay.
is. That's pretty cool. Whoops. Had to
So
get out of the other screen so we didn't repeat. But
yeah, there's a little bit of a lag. It's all good. So thank you for joining up here, impromptu. I hadn't done this before. This is the
yeah,
first YouTube live I did. So, well, I've done them, but I have a program where it lets you put a video you previously recorded as a live. So, I've never done like a true live. So YouTube live, I guess, is one person, and then you have to do the software like this.
yeah, this is pretty sick.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just in my work attire right now,
oh,
making
good.
making some dials today. Not a ton of luck today so far, but not really. Haven't reached those maniac levels of activity you talk about all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it happens. Some days you do, some days you don't. It's a grind, and the thing, it's a muscle too. I've found like the more you do it, the better you get at it, and eventually, like you just, become a habit, and it can be tough at home too, right? Like, what do you do to say? So, any of you guys watching this, Bryant's at home cranking calls. So, like, what do you do to try to stay focused at home?
um, every time somebody doesn't answer, I take my pen and I reach as high as I can in the air, and then I come back down to my dial tracker. It's like a little dance, I guess, and it, as silly as it is, like it keeps me awake and it keeps me instead of thinking about they just didn't answer. It's like, oh, I get to do this little dance and fill in a
Okay.
dot. So I mean that's what I'm doing. But it's weird coming off that super big week last week. Uh, that's not starting the same as last week started. So just got to keep ripping into it, I guess.
Yeah, man, it happens. I know, I see it every week with agents, and it happens with our production too sometimes. Like as a team,
Yeah.
sometimes the whole team will have a lull. It's weird. Brandon Dewey, what's up, man? Average time your agent spent on the phone, assuming first call closes. So, I'll talk about me, and then Bryant, you can talk about you. Brian and I have been in communication for a few months now, talking about telesales and everything else. So, average time our agents spend on the phone. So, what I've found, Brandon, is that a newer agent needs to spend more time on the phone to close someone because they're not able to provide the same amount of information to the client in a shorter period of time to be able to build that trust fast just on the fact that they know what they're talking about. So a lot of times newer agents have to like build a rapport and build a relationship a little longer. So we kind of have a longer script for newer agents that I use where it's like very structured warm up based where there's like questions in there that are for like really digging into getting that person to like them. Now, we have a girl who does 20 to 30,000 AP a week, who's on the phone with people for 10 to 12 minutes, and she's like not on the phone a long time at all. And then we have some people who do really well who are on the phone with clients for a while. So the average agent, Brian, to answer your question, I would say about 20. I'm not Brian. Brandon, to answer your question, I would say about 25 to 30 minutes before asking for the sale is like the average time. 20 to 30 minutes before asking for the sale. And for a more experienced agent, like 15 to 20 minutes before asking for the sale and just going right in for it. And those experienced agents, what they're doing, the difference really is they know how to ask those questions in the fact finding to determine like, hey, is this, what's up, no sleep of Reddit, is what they're doing in the fact finding to determine that is really asking some like super hard questions that like they can kind of hear if the person's gonna buy or not, and they get like these really good buying signals. But it's a little different. Like when I bought my leads, it was a totally different story. I was trying to close everybody. I didn't care what they told me. I was swinging the bat, like, and I got sales out of that and follow up. So like Brian, what would you say? Brian, last week was good for you. What would you say
Yep.
last week was like your average time?
If I'm remembering the phone counter, is probably all my sales. I think I was on the phone between like 30 and 50 minutes. And
Okay.
that's a call to close, entire application, and as much of an approval as I can get, depending on the company.
Okay.
So
Cool.
30 to 50. Had one that was like an hour and 10, and that's just because we were chatting about the Army. So
Okay. Cool. Cool. So 30 to 50 minutes where everything like now Brandon, did you mean like 30 to 50 with the like 30 to 50 Brandon, did you mean before going for the close or before like before the app's done and everything's wrapped and sealed up? And Bryant, did you mean 30 to 50 before when everything's sealed up and you're off the phone?
yeah, 30 to 50.
Okay.
The I can see the approval or whatever it is
Okay,
at
yeah.
that point.
That makes sense then. Yeah, for us most agents it's like 30 to 50, Brandon, to where they're like on the phone and everything's like wrapped up and like and done, like 30 to 50. But going for the sale it's like 20 to 25, 30 depending on the conversation.
Yeah.
What type of oh, Darren, what's up? Oh, what's up, Darren? I do work under Justin. Oh, okay, yeah, Darren, that's Darren Hipsch. He works with me here at SLS. What's up, Darren? Cool. Anybody else watching this, if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat. Appreciate that. What leads you working now, Bryant? Still use some YouTube?
Our agency's been building in-house Facebook leads.
Cool.
So last week was my first week to spend a bunch of money
Yeah.
on those, and it paid off pretty
Awesome.
huge. So
Heck yeah, man.
probably about the same quality as the YouTubes that we used to use from the IMO, but
Okay, cool.
it's just a lot easier to deal with our people now instead of
Yeah.
reaching way up.
Good for you, man. You know what I noticed with the YouTube, because I've been running some YouTube ads on like a small campaign just to like toy with it.
Yeah.
I've noticed that most of these leads, guys, they have cell phones and iPhones. So I'll go type in their number, and a lot of them have iPhones. Is my mic too loud? Is it cracking?
It seems fine.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like I found that the YouTube leads, I go to send them because I'll call them and it'll go right to voicemail. Like as many times, it doesn't matter how many times I call them. But if I put their number in my phone, a lot of them come up blue. So try that. Try that with the internet leads. You can't text them from a CRM or automator. That's illegal. And you can text them from your cell phone. It's totally okay to send a manual SMS to someone, guys. It's TCPA compliant. It's I read the law on it. Facebook got sued, and there was a big thing. So they changed the ruling of what their definition of a auto dialer means, because the definition of an auto dialer from the 80s was essentially a cell phone because they didn't have them, so they had to change it. So essentially, it's like you can send a text, you just can't do an automated text message from an auto dialer system that can generate numbers in a sequence and call them automatically. So that's like the rule. Okay? So anyway, send them a text, and then Vidyard, I was having really good results with that, like getting sales just over a text message because they had it. So try that out on the leads, just see if it comes up blue.
I gotta get an iPhone. That's probably my problem.
Yeah, I mean you could send an Android too. Just I can tell if it's an I mean, bottom line, they have cell phones, and what they have is that call blocking. Because I have it on my phone, silence unknown callers, and I don't answer. And I just get so many spam calls. Okay, we got. Is there a general average to what a new agent will have to spend on investments for leads? Up again a little bit, please. Turn my mic volume up again a little bit. There we go. So my mic volume's up now. So Bryant, what would you say to someone on here to general average what to spend on new leads or for leads?
I started seeing like pretty big success in the past with fresh, like your leads where you're the only one that gets them. When I got around like $800, $1,000 a week, that's where I started to make real money. And for reference, right now I'm doing $1,800 a week, and it's been paying off pretty huge. So
cool. So
I don't know if I would go much more than this though, because I'm getting a lot of leads. So
yeah. sweet. So guys, what he's saying there is you got to invest in. You can't be scared to spend money, right? Like, and the thing is too, you're gonna have deals that you have to have a bunch of deals in the pipeline to eat up chargebacks in the future. You got to have them because some deals are gonna fall off. You're gonna get some submitted to the carrier, and they're gonna say, "Oh, approved," and then they kick it back like a week later, and they're like, "Oh no, actually it's not because this or whatever." So you're gonna have that happen. So you can't rely on like just a couple deals. You got to like spend that extra money. If you go from face-to-face to telesales, you're going to have a little bit lower ROI typically on your investment because that just is what it is. If you buy 40 direct mail leads in a zip code and go and knock on the doors, then you're going to, the return's going to be crazy. But telesales, we're at home banging calls on the phone, so your ROI will be lower. So Bryant's spending more money, but to make more profit. So.
And it's like proportionally more profit too. Like, I'm not just making, double what I was. It's much more than that. So it kind of compounds, I think, because you get the numbers are more likely to work in your favor, I think, when you've got more numbers to work with.
Yeah, definitely. Because then you're going to have more laydowns and like low-hanging fruit. And then also like you're not bugging out about like one, like it's better. I found it's hard to have just the right amount of leads. You either have too many or too little, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's too many. So Brandon said, solid, Brian. What type of resources are you running? Self-generated from Facebook or YouTube or callbacks?
These are all Facebook leads that, like I said, our agency's making. So they they click on it, they fill it out. A lot of the sales I have were pre-booked, so someone could fill out the lead. I would get that, and then they could go to the next page and schedule on my calendar, and then I call them. A lot of them don't answer, but the ones that do are more likely to know what's going on.
Yeah, they're pretty serious. Do you have any click-to-calls on the landing page? Like click here to call now?
No.
No. Yeah, that's hard if you run them at night. I ran into that because my YouTube ones do. I get calls literally, and it's cool because on the YouTube ones with the callback thing I get about a 60 to 70% of the leads calling me directly from the ad. But I have it on a low spend, so it probably spends at night when they're like super cheap, right? And then I'll get a call at like 3:15 in the morning. It's like, for someone that, but it's cool because it's working. But I can see where if you're running them all day, the appointment would make sense.
Yeah. So anything I put on my calendar, it kind of like blocks out that time, so I'm not, having something planned and then have an appointment at the same time. So it works out really well.
Awesome. Cool. So Brandon, he said he's doing callback. I'm sure you heard that, but not callback. He's doing Facebook leads, and he's having some schedule appointment. Give him the option to schedule an appointment, essentially. Darren here. Does it matter if you think an agent? Does it matter? You think if an agent has? Darren's studying for his insurance license, by the way, so he's going to be soon. Does it matter? You think if an agent has the social media or not? I'm not on any social media platform at all. No. The guy who owns our agency is a multi-millionaire, and he does not have a single social media account. And I know there are plenty of guys in the business who are big who don't have any social media accounts. Oh, and real quick, I'm just going to clarify this for him, Bryant. Darren, when Bryant says Facebook leads, he's paying to advertise on Facebook. He's not like posting to friends and family that are just blowing his feet up for.
Yeah.
Those are the coldest leads you'll ever hit.
Mm-hmm.
So Joel Girbellini wants to ask you, Bryant, what are the most common rejections or objections that you get?
With these, the most common. Well, they'll answer the phone, and then they'll immediately say, "I'm not interested," even though they literally filled it out 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago.
It's hilarious, right?
I can't believe it's happening on this scale, but then I just okay. So this is your email though, right? I have the right person. Yeah, yeah. Okay. What got you to fill this out in the first place? And then that usually kind of brings them back. But if I'm gonna be super transparent with everybody here, most of my sales are just laydowns. So I'm still working on my objection handling. But if they don't want insurance, I'm not really the one to talk to them about it.
Yeah, I get that. It's hard. Like I know what you mean. But honestly, though, you're probably asking the right questions if a lot of your sales are laydowns, man. And then you're answering the leads fast, probably when they're filling the forms out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, sweet.
I'm sure you recognize that.
Yeah. So I would use if I called someone right away, and I've used this on the Facebook lead forms. I mean the YouTube stuff. Called, they say I'm not interested, hang up, and I text them. And I say, look, I can get you all the information through a text message. Would that work for you? And then sometimes people, I think, when they go online and they fill out a form, they feel like they're going to get a quote right away, and they don't. And they can be like, So
Yeah.
you can give that a shot, and then use the the rebuttals page thing where it's like, yeah, no worries, I'm not asking. I get it. I'd be surprised if I'm not asking you to do anything today. Don't worry, I'm just going to get you some information. But still, even then, it's hard. I love the people who are like, oh yeah, I already took care of that, right? And it's a minute.
Yeah, it's like, well, I think what you did is you asked for my help a minute ago, and so now I'm here to give that to you. So you took care of that part, but unless you gave anybody your social, I don't think you've taken care of it. You know. So another big one is I've already got insurance. I was just checking to see, what this is all about or whatever, and sometimes they're really good. Talked to a lady the other day, had a ton of permanent coverage. She was super set. So I think you're in a good position, But then you'll talk to others who are like, oh yeah, I've got this particular company who we typically know is very overpriced or is gonna have a expiration date on it. Justin knows all about all of those specifics.
Yeah. So he's wondering, Bryant, how long have you been in this game?
Since December, past December.
It's impressive, man. Dude, I love seeing someone come and just keep pushing, man. It's like super. What are your goals moving into the next half of 2022?
Yeah, so I have my goal is to focus on residuals. So I've switched a lot of my contracts to as earned, except one, so that I can still make enough money. But I just have a certain number of monthly income I want to hit, and so every time I have a sale, I subtract it from that number, knowing that the next month, and this is it has a pre-built-in buffer for the fall off, So
Yeah.
every time I make a sale, I add it and then I subtract from the main number, and so really just these past 2 weeks, I've reframed my thinking from what am I going to get deposited up front compared to now I'm thinking every month. I just want every time I make a sale, it's like, oh, that's $70 a month now that I'm going to get for the next year. So that's really the biggest goal and the most easily visualized one that I've got right now.
Dude, that's huge. I love that. So, guys, what he's saying, if anybody's newer on here, he said, I don't want any advances on my policies. I want to get paid monthly, like they're giving a direct express card. Okay, so it's like he's getting paid that same. So if his annual commission is $1,000, he's getting paid $83 a month. Okay, he's not getting $1,000. He's not getting $750 up front and $250 by the end of the year. He's getting $83 a month. And the reason why he did that is because he wants true income. Like he doesn't want to have to owe anyone money back. And obviously you said you have one, so you can get some advances, but that's huge. And we here sometimes will put people on a monthly, almost like a monthly advance amount on everything sold that month if the business quality drops low. And people think it's to hurt them. It's really not. It's like dude, you're gonna dig yourself so far into the hole.
Yeah. And especially like some of the companies, like Prosperity, that I really love and they're really good for certain people, but I don't need them all the time. If I'm not as active with them, I really don't want any chargebacks.
Yeah.
So they were the first one I switched over. I said, why don't I just do this to all of them? So I'm excited for this. Because then you can take a month off if you need to go somewhere, and you're fine, you know? So I'm excited for it.
No, that's super cool, man. What's your main carrier? What's your main go-to carrier?
Aflac.
Aflac?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know they did final expense.
So I got the contract like a week ago, so they're mine now. But AmAm's been the main one to this point.
Aflac. What do you like about Aflac? I've never even heard of their.
Well, so I've been using Aetna for a while, and you know, for an older population, they're really lenient on a lot of things that affect older people.
It's pretty cheap too.
They're pretty cheap. So Aetna's pretty cheap, but Aflac pretty consistently is cheaper. So it's really just been the price disparity that has made me go AmAm over Aetna. And now that that's not there with Aflac, and they have the easiest application you'll ever use, even
Aflac.
compared to Aflac and Aetna use the exact same underwriting application, everything.
I've never used it. What is it?
Ascendo underwriting, but the application,
Yeah, is it super easy?
it's like there's one page of questions, and then you put your beneficiary and all your like personal info in,
Yeah.
and then they can give a passcode. You read them this thing, and then they can give you a passcode for their signature.
Oh, that's super cool. You'll have to show me sometime. I'll have to screen share with you and see it. I'd love
Yeah.
to check that out.
Yeah.
So, what type of insurance do you sell? Mainly final expense. I don't know if he does some mortgage protection, but mainly final expense. For me, it's mainly final expense.
I'd say 98% of everything's final expense right now.
Final expense. So, Darren, final expense is smaller face mount whole life policies for people ages 50 to 85, typically maybe 50 to 90. And they're designed to protect against funerals, cremation, stuff like that. And then Joel said, what's your regular work schedule when it comes to dialing an appointment? So I know for me, it was like 9 to 8. I was like just cranking and then working. I mean, it's almost 6 and I'm going to be I got here at 7. I'm going to be here till 8, 9. So that's it. But it's different when it's pretty exhausting to dial for like 13 hours. So what's your schedule look like, Ryan? Your work schedule?
This morning I woke up late, so it was just like 9 something until I've got to leave for something in about 30 minutes. And then I had something in the middle of the day. But last week is like more ideal week, and that was I'd go from like 9 to 6 or 7. So yesterday we had a team meeting at 7. I've been dialing all day, over 100 dials, and I got my one sale of the day, 15 minutes before 7. So if that
Yesterday?
Yep. So if that means anything, just don't stop. You know.
What's your follow-up plan look like, Bryant? What do you do for follow-up?
For if they don't answer.
Yeah, or like say if you get them through a presentation but they don't buy, do you have do you follow up with them? Or?
It depends on how they don't buy. So if they need to think about it, then okay. Well, how long do you think you need to think about that? If I call you back next week, do you think you'll have an idea? Okay, and that's kind of what I'll do, and I'll put them on the schedule for that. If that's way too much, then I put them in a certain spot in my CRM, certain opportunity list on the CRM. So right now I have not interested, and I have sat, no sale. So those are two different groups of people I've got. So in the future, I think I'd like to take the sat but not no sale people. I don't know. Give them.
What do you use for a CRM?
It's
Is it Go High Level build up?
yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Have you ever seen the manual text campaigns in Go High Level?
Yeah. Yep.
So I was just thinking something that I would do once a week for my gotta think about it at the end is make a manual text campaign and send a text with a link to a Vidyard video where you're just like, hey, it's Bryant. I know last time we got off the phone, there were some things that you had to look over before making a decision on insurance. You said you had to think about it. Just wanted to see if you thought about it. And if you have any questions, anything else I can get you information on, and then use Vidyard and create a manual text campaign with all those people that you disposition as not interested, and compile the names, and then you can just go through and click it, and push them through. Is 30% commission rate normal? It depends where you work. I mean, if you're getting a guaranteed sale from an inbound call where someone's clicking on a TV lead and you don't pay for the leads, then that's probably pretty typical. If you're generating your own leads and drumming up your own business, then no, that's not typical. So if you have to pay for your own leads and buy everything on your own and do it all, then no. But if, say, you're in a setup where, like I said, you're getting a TV lead calling in from a commercial and your phone is buzzing off the hook and you can close a deal every 10 to 15 minutes, it's probably not that bad, I mean, it's probably similar. Like, you get 5-6 sales a day, so it all depends on the setup. DG, I don't know what your setup is like. So, Brandon Dewey again, on a typical day, how presentations are you guys focused? You mean how many presentations? Oh, and at Bryant too, you can do the manual text campaign, and it kind of can avoid some TCPA stuff. All you got to do too is before you hang up with people, remember to ask, hey, is it okay if I follow up with you in a text message?
Okay. Just
in case they pull any crap. But most of our clients, I feel like most final expense clients, you don't really have to worry about like them being hit to the I'm not saying to violate any TCPA stuff, guys. I'm just saying, like, just get it. Hey, you're okay with us doing this? Yeah. Okay, cool. How many presentations a day are you focused on? So if I know me from my agents, I say like 7 full presentations a day. You should get a sale a day. It's like at the bare minimum, like at one sale. That's what I should. What do you have a target? What metric do you use as a target?
Me?
Right. Yeah.
Well, my target is that because that monthly income goal I have is a 6-month target, which somebody said take a 6-month target and try and do it in 3 months. So that's the goal. But that was you that said that. But all I can do is I can reach out to as many people as possible each day. I have this dial sheet that's got 150 dials on it. I like to think that if I filled that up, that I did enough work that day to be happy to go to sleep. I don't really have like a result goal for the day except the that monthly premium goal. But I did recently, and last week that was a big difference. I started tracking my dials. Like, instead of just knowing how many I had, I know this many people answered this. I got this many presentations. So anyway,
that stuff out.
Yeah, so for record, I've done like 60 dials today, and I've got 5 pickups, and I had 2 full presentations. Okay. And this has been a very sporadic day for me, so
yeah,
I don't think that's terrible.
No, it's not. So we have Tim, Time Creator, said what leads is he using? Right now he's using Facebook leads. He's used YouTube leads and gut sales. He's used, we use telemarketing callback leads, which can be a little more challenging to find, like a reputable vendor. So there's all different all different lead types. I know I one time I had good luck because I ran Facebook leads for so long for like a large amount of people. I was providing leads before I joined SLS. Same setup, like providing leads, and so I took a bunch of them that didn't buy, and I just had a VA call them for like $4 an hour, $4 or $5 an hour, and it was just like, hey, crank through these. Here's the script you read to them. You get someone on the line, send them over, and there's a way to clean up. But you're getting them so fresh that. So he's using a VoIP line. He's not doing it off his cell phone. Ray Lauren, he's doing it. He's using Go High Level. It's a CRM that's completely fully customizable in a ridiculous amount of ways. It's like everything inclusive. It's really cool. If you have any questions about it here in different CRMs, Ray Lauren, you can just email me jve@thejve.com. I put my email in the chat there. Ray Lauren said, do you have a certain type of schedule you work consistent, like 7 a.m. to, Time Creator asked that, using cell phone or VoIP, my bad. Ray Lauren said, do you have a certain schedule you work on to stay consistent, like 7 a.m. to, VoIP is voice over internet protocol. It's a fancy for internet phone. So it's just like, it's a computer program that you call people through. That's it. It's like an online filing cabinet that you can call people through, essentially. And then what's your work schedule like to stay consistent? Well, I'll say mine, and then you can say yours. It's going to be a little different. When I dialed, I was up later. So now I'm up at 4:30. I get to the gym at 5. I try to get at the office for 6:37. And it doesn't always work that way, but, and then or till 8, or I'm about to pass out, and then go home. When I was sales, it was work till whenever I could, and then wake up a little bit later, and wake up at 6, 7, get to the gym, and then I try to be at my first appointment by like 9:30, or making calls by 9:30. What's your schedule look like, Brian? When it's I know it's probably not perfect. But.
So like my ideally I'd want to wake up a little earlier so I can focus on working on the business and not working in the business, But right now it's like 6:30, wake up at the gym by 7, back here, eat, ready to go by 9. And then I've got my green time from 9 to 11, and then from
schedule thing.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Since I had that training from you, it's been in my schedule forever. Do I follow it? I don't know, usually, but 9 to 11 green time, a little break that's not usually a break, 11 to 12, and then 12 to 1 red time to fix anybody's policy, follow up with people who canceled or having issues or whatever. Then 1 to 5. Right now 1 to 5 green time, and then I've got to go do other stuff in the summers. But when I don't have that going on, it's 1 to 6 green time, and then finishing up, hanging out, cleaning the house, stuff like that after that.
Brian, you know what blows my mind, man, is you're applying so much stuff that we went over, and I have so many agents that sit through training with me every week that probably goes, I know it goes in one ear out the other, and they don't really apply it. But the reason I think you applied it, and I wish I could do this, but I can't, and I never would. I only wish I could from a commitment standpoint, is because you paid to be there.
Yeah.
Right? Because Bryant's not in my agency, but he paid me to bring him through some training stuff. And a few other people, and that's what we covered: goal setting, scheduling. There was no in-depth view at our agency. It was just like, hey, here's a script, here's how you bring people through a sale, here's how you can handle some stuff, and then goal setting, scheduling, and it's the reason I say that. I know you write that schedule down. I had to implement a new thing where if any agents that work with me don't submit a schedule, then they're not going to get help from us. They can still work and dial, but they're not going to get help. And you'd be surprised how many people didn't have a schedule, that have been, here a little bit, or like went through the training. So it's just really cool to see you applying it. And it's like, dude, you're like, and guys, I did not bring Bryant on for like a testimony that like, that like, but it's just cool to see you apply stuff that worked for me and have it like, produce some results for you. So it's awesome, man. Why is Ashley, well, she's a pretty girl. She's a pretty woman. That's it. So I'm saying, why is Ashley so hot? Genetics, and she takes care of herself. So there you go. So nurture. Ray Lauren, were you able to make money in your first few months in joining SLS? Yes, I was. A lot of agents aren't. A lot of agents aren't able to make money in insurance to begin with, right? So our setup's a little different. We have 50% commission, and we provide all the leads. So I truly think if someone can make it in insurance, they can make it anywhere. It took me a little bit to find myself and figure out my life and figure out how this worked before I found a home at SLS. Maybe if I like started at SLS and then went to New York Life and then went independent, like did it backwards or whatever, then went independent, then New York Life, maybe I'd be like doing well at New York Life now. I don't know. But it's hard, guys. The first year in insurance, it takes a few, and Bryant's like an anomaly of him like figuring it out real fast. Like most people, or still, you're probably like, I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, so I put it in our Godspeed, our team group. Last week, I was like, hey guys, just let you know, I made more today than I made in my first 3 months. As far as, submit. So, and it's not because I made a lot in a day, it's because I didn't make a lot those first 3 months. So it was a build-up for me. It was like one sale in December, and then and I looked back and I worked 6 days in December for a few hours a day, so I think it's what I deserved. And then 2 sales in January, and then same in February, and then March was 2 sales a week, and then April and May it started to get to 6 to 8 sales a week, and then I took 2 months off because I got a little sick, and then now this is me back into it, and last week was 8. So if I can keep that, I'll be pretty happy. So
yeah, you'll have an awesome that'd be sweet, dude. Cool. And Brandon, you're right, we value what that we pay for. Julian, what's a good amount of money to spend on leads a week? Someone had asked this before. He said $1,000 to $2,000, $1 to $2,000. And you may be like, holy crap. But look, if you're brand new, I would not get into telesales and spend $2,000 on leads to call tomorrow. I wouldn't do that. I would spend money on cheap aged leads and get beat up for a week. And then that's honestly what I would do to learn how to do it. Learn how to use your CRM. Definitely work with a mentor that's going to help show you some stuff about telesales, so you can kind of be a little bit prepared to go into battle. I would recommend, Julian, that if you're just getting into it, I would recommend you run 50 appointments face to face, 30 to 50 face to face appointments before jumping on the phones, because that's what I did. I just got so sick of driving around Miami. I was like, dude, there's a better way to live than this. So. Ray Lauren, whose team are you on? You going to be on my team? So she said she's joining SLS. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean that to discourage anybody or whatever. It was like I love SLS where I am. All I'm saying is that people come in this with a misconception of how much time, energy, and effort it's going to take to be successful, and it's like you gotta I've never seen anybody make it in insurance and be like, wow, that was way easier than I thought it would be, or I spent much less money than I thought I would, or that took way faster than I thought. It just doesn't happen. So you whatever you're estimating for effort, double it, and then you'll be safe. Unless you're part-time, then quadruple it, then you'll be safe. Are you going to start doing these on a particular day time? Yeah. This was random. Literally, I was chatting with Bryant here on Instagram, and I'm like, bro, crap, I forgot I got my YouTube live in 5 minutes. Can you join? And then I messed up, and then I'm going to do it every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, Telesales Tuesday. So I'll bring on someone every week, or maybe we'll ask for another guest appearance from Bryant here. And if any of you guys want to start having this Tuesday as like an accountability thing too, where you can come on live, you can email me some of your calls, I'll listen to some recordings, we can have some people give comments. If you want to record some of your calls, we can go through it. You can be like, man, maybe like, what could I have done better here? We can go through that. Come with your questions, come with your, like, anything, anything that you need. Like I want to help, like, anybody who comes to my live, I want to, like, try to develop you guys in the business, like, any way I can. And it's like, I feel like it's, I don't know, it's cool. Like, we're all here trying to, like, make it in this game. And, yeah, so, oh, Ray Lauren, you're going to be in my team. Cool. Awesome. So, okay, you're worried about failure. I think everybody is. But, like, I think it's an anxiety that we have. But, like, what happened, started focusing from what happens if I fail to what happens if I succeed. And it kind of changed your perspective on things. Like, well, what if I make, we're programmed to move away from things that hurt us, but we don't want it to back us into a corner where we think the whole world is going to be out to get us, So you got to take some chance. And if you're uncomfortable, Ray Lauren, then you're going to grow. So you're going to grow more in discomfort than you do in comfort. That just is what it is. Like, you're always, like, the more uncomfortable you can get consistently, you're going to grow faster. That's just is what it is. Telesales Tuesday, love it. What's the biggest piece of advice for a new agent? Get set on your goals and get set on your schedule. That's it. I don't even care how good you are at sales. You can learn the talent. You can learn that. Because when you're set on your goals, you stay enthusiastic. When you're enthusiastic, you can persist for long periods of time towards a single objective, okay? So you can be consistent. When you're enthusiastic, you have control over your environment. Your environment doesn't have control over you. So you can persist through those goals, you can push, and then getting set on your schedule and being, like, very disciplined with that is like, hey, I have to put in the time to do it. Because the people who are successful in this business, most of them weren't the best agents. They just stayed through and stuck through, and that's what made them ended up having them be the best. Schedule is easy peasy. Time management is my forte. We will see. I believe you. Brian, anything else you want to put here? I got to sign off. I got to. I really appreciate everybody being on here now. This was pretty cool. I'm going to be here every Tuesday. So.
I was just gonna say, like, if this is a full time for you, I know Justin's gonna recommend 50 to 60 hours a week, but I mean, if you put in a 40-hour work week and know that you've got people working on roofs, you've got people working in plants. I've got a good friend that works with giant steel molds. It's like 130 degrees in their room, and I just know that if I put in the same amount of hours as them, which I think is considerably less work, I can do financially 12, 15 times better if I just put in a 40-hour work week. That's the hardest thing. Like I said, the first 2 months.
Through the first 40 hours, though, guys. So when I say like 50, 60 hours, it's because I anticipate if someone puts 60 hours or 50 hours, they're going to work like 30 or 40 of those. So yeah. Brian's like, that's weird. So when Brian's like 40 hours, I can promise you're grinding for most of that time, right?
Yeah. So it's real easy to just work 3 hours a day and then be really mad that you didn't make a bunch of money in insurance. So thanks for having me on, man. I feel like a superstar being on stage with you. So I appreciate it.
Oh man, I'm really glad I brought you on, because like the fact you said you do the red time, green time thing, I didn't even expect that. I wasn't even setting you up for that. I think that's really cool. So yeah. Awesome, cool. Thanks, brother. And I'm looking forward to continuing speaking with you and helping everybody. Yeah, let me just make sure anybody has some questions. It's awesome. Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate you.